Thank you very much, Radzi. We are here at Blends at a coffee shop. Unfortunately, there's no coffee being served, so bad timing. And I'm on the tallest stool in the world, which really highlights my little short stumpy legs. What's going on here? Do you know, I am with some fantastic people. These are the student wellbeing team. I've got Linda and I've got Rob with me. Now, they provide support to all students for many different reasons, whatever the reason happens to be. It may be practical help with money. It may be help with well-being, or maybe you have a disability that you require help with. Whatever it is, these are the guys who can sort you out. Let's find out exactly what they do here.
Hi, welcome to the University of Derby. So coming to uni is a very big step, but here at Derby you're definitely not alone. You will make friends really quickly, and there are also lots of student support services on hand to help you with any issues that you may have. So come with me and I'll introduce you. This is our Student Wellbeing Centre. Everyone here at Derby wants you to be successful and have a great time. So that's why if there is anything that may impact on your well-being, your experience, or your academic performance, this team is here to help. Let's go and meet them.
We know that to succeed at university is not just reliant on academic ability, but also on your well-being. So when you're studying here, if you're facing any personal issues or you want to speak to someone about support, come and see us here and we can arrange an appointment for you to speak to someone.
We can help with a whole range of support, from budgeting to anxiety management, managing your health and generally juggling your life. So please, when you need to, come and see us.
Our International Student Centre team are dedicated to providing support for international students from the EU and worldwide.
So here at the International Student Centre, we help with all aspects of studying here at Derby. You can ask us about anything and we will help you find the answers.
Here we are at our next stop, the Multi-Faith Centre. Let's go and take a look inside.
At Chaplaincy, we are here to provide you pastoral, spiritual or emotional support, or to help and support you if you want to explore faith or religion if you have interest, or simply chat with you anything you want, or to put you in touch with other sports lines within the university.
We also have an equality, diversity, inclusion and wellbeing team.
It's really important that you feel like you belong. And so our equality and diversity team make sure that regardless of what background you come from, that you're absolutely represented right across the university. But our personal academic tutors, of which you'll have one, will make sure that you've got somebody to talk to about your progress, and that you can also talk to about how things are going and what things you're excited about for the future.
This is Miranda, and she's going to be telling us about the Centre for Student Life.
At the Centre for Student Life, you can access loads of support. At the Career Hub, you can get career ready, take advantage of our fab libraries and learn how to access journals and loads more. Your student and graduate experience team put on loads of offers for you to get involved in. We have the International Travel Awards, where you can get the chance to travel abroad, develop new skills and make new friends. Use the centre to seize every opportunity that comes your way.
Great, well thanks for that, Miranda. Well, that's everyone. You've now met all the different support service teams that are here to make your uni experience the absolute best that it can be. Hope to see you around again soon.
Do you know, first of all, we are here with Linda. We've just watched that video together. There's a monitor up there, and you said, there are all the people who I've not seen for months who I work with.
That's very true.
Absolutely. So, Linda, you're a mental health practitioner.
That's right.
Here at the Wellbeing Service.
Yeah.
Tell us about the work that you do at the Wellbeing Service.
So we're a very broad team. I'm part of the mental health and wellbeing team. So we work with students basically about ways in which they can manage their health and wellbeing while they're at university. We also have an inclusivity team, and there's experienced practitioners there, including nurse practitioners, who will support students around things like physical, long-standing health issues, possibly around sensory impairments, so sort of deaf or visual impairments, as well as people who have specific learning differences such as dyslexia. So that's very broadly, and we do also have a psychological wellbeing service, and they are there. They support all students around the psychological wellbeing. Sometimes students tend to see them in their induction weeks because they do psychoeducation, as we call it, but they also do one-to-one therapy for students that might need it when they come to university.
Okay, and if you fit into one of the camps who may require your support, what advice would you give to a student who is applying to the University of Derby at this point?
What's really key is on your UCAS form to engage with that and declare a disability. For professional courses, all that happens is that you go through Occy Health like you would if you were applying for a job for nursing or something. Because sometimes people worry about declaring it on application, and we can assure them they don't need to worry about that. Because all it means from our perspective is that we'll get in touch with you in advance of you starting. Do lots of work with you if that's what you want, to make sure that your support is all set up for university.
Excellent. Now, let's say you're in a scenario where you are getting ongoing support at home and you move to Derby to come to the university. Does that support follow you? Does it come with you?
Again, really important, certainly if you're coming from a different part of the country, is to perhaps have a chat with your NHS provider. So whether you, around occupational health or mental health provision, something like that. And if you want us to, as a service, we will liaise with your existing providers to ensure a really smooth transition of support.
That's awesome. That's really helpful. Excellent. So obviously some students get extra time for exams, and they will have had that during their A-levels or whichever point in education they may have been at the time. How does that transfer to university?
Again, that's something that we can easily do. We do need medical evidence. I think we're going to talk about DSA shortly as well. But basically, we will discuss with you what we call reasonable adjustments around your studies. So similar to at college, it might be extra time in exams if that's what your course has, or extra library loan. But again, this is all done within a sort of confidential setting. You know, we'll have those one-to-one discussions with you on an individual basis to ensure that your plan is right for you. Excellent.
Now, you mentioned DSA then. Tell me about that. It's a phrase I've heard, but tell me about it.
So Disabled Students Allowances is funding through student finance. It's for UK students, so it would be through Student Finance England, Wales or Scotland, depending on where you're from. It's funding for resources to enable students that have a disability to fully access their programmes. It does take quite a while to set up, so we always really strongly recommend you can have conversations with us, but that you get that ball rolling before you come to university.
Sure.
They might part fund a computer or different software or ergonomic equipment. It all depends on what your needs are. But they also, which is often really important to some students, provide some one-to-one support for when you actually get to university around your mental health or autism or the specific learning difference.
Excellent. Now, a student who's coming to the University of Derby, do they need to speak directly to their lecturers about their disabilities, or is there some process in place?
It's totally up to you. Any conversation you have with us within student wellbeing is confidential, so again, you don't need to worry too much about some things that you might tell us that you're a little bit apprehensive about. The reasonable adjustments that we talked about, they're produced in a plan, and that goes to the lecturer, but all it has about you was your name, your ID, your diagnosis, and the rest of it are the adjustments. So it really is totally up to you how much or how little you want to share with your lecturers.
Excellent, excellent. So obviously the times have been weird during the COVID months. How have you supported the students through those times?
We've all been working remotely. My cat has met several people. Or they've certainly heard her purring in the background. So we've been still all having our wellbeing appointments, offering counselling if that's been appropriate. And we have all been working remotely, so it's all been by phone or video. But you know, we've been providing that support and obviously continue to do so, but working in a different way.
Absolutely, yes, that's what it's about. So, scenario for you, there's a student who's thinking of coming to Derby, thinking of applying to Derby, having watched this Open Day Live, for example, and are they able to speak to a member of your team and see what support they can get before applying?
Yeah, we're more than happy to do that, and that's what Open Days are normally about, aren't they? Obviously, people just coming and they're thinking about Derby. So yes, please do get in contact with us, because then we can talk about what support there is, how you go about getting it. And again, we're more than happy, which we enjoy doing that anyway. It's great. It's a great thing to do when people are applying.
Yeah, do you know, I'm blown away by the amount of support the students get here at Derby, and it's because of people like you, so thank you, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely. Right, let's cross over to, I've been told you are the Martin Lewis of Derby.
Okay.
You've got longer legs than me, so you look much more comfortable. Rob, hi, how are you?
Hello.
What do you do here?
I work in the Student Money Advice and Rights team, and we provide information, advice and guidance to students about all elements of finance and student funding whilst they're here, and pre-entry as well, so events such as the Open Day today.
Lovely, okay. Obviously finance is a massive consideration when you're moving to a university. It's one of the big ones. It's one that we hear about a lot in the news. What funding is available to students, and how do they apply for that funding?
Okay, your main package of student funding is your tuition fee loan and your maintenance loan. So tuition fee loan is the loan that pays your tuition fee. That's the loan for £9,250, non-means tested, and that's paid direct to the university by the student loans company. So that's one of the elements that students never physically get to see, or spend.
Sure.
The maintenance loan is the living cost loan. So that's the loan that is paid to students to pay for accommodation, food, clothes, anything all the way to books, pens and paper. So everything else comes under the banner of the maintenance loan. There's other support available, so grants for dependents. So if students have children or adults who are financially dependent on them, they will also be assessed for grants for dependents. The application process is a single application through student finance, so they assess you for all elements of your student funding, so you don't have to look for the funding and where to apply. It's a single application, single point of application, and everything that you're eligible for is assessed at that one point.
Excellent, that's fabulous. So what bursaries are available, and how do you find out if you're eligible for those bursaries?
Most universities have bursaries. They'll have some form of financial support that they will offer to their students to help them whilst they're at university. Sure. At Derby, we've got 3 bursaries available. We have a university bursary, which is based purely on household income. We have an academic achievement scholarship, and we have a Buxton Elite College bursary, which is a local bursary for students coming to us from the local college. All of our bursaries are assessed automatically. There's no application process. We assess them based on information that we get either from student finance about household income or from the admissions team about the academic grades of the student when they arrive. Okay. So they're all automatic. You've got to bear in mind, if you're looking at throughout the sector, bursaries are different. They all target different areas, and they have different eligibility criteria. Sometimes you have to apply for a bursary, sometimes they're automatic, but certainly here at Derby they are all automatically assessed.
That is fabulous news. Right, scenario for you. So I'm thinking of coming to the University of Derby. I've seen this. I've gone, yes, I've fallen in love with the place. I've seen the supportive staff. I've seen the awesome facilities. Can I afford it?
Okay. The thing to remember, and the important thing, is that to go to university, you don't necessarily have to have the funds or the money up front. Tuition fees are always something that people really think about, because it's £9,250 per year, but you can take out the tuition fee loan. So your fees are paid up front at the point of enrolment. Again, the maintenance loan, although it is assessed based on your household income, it is assessed to try and make sure that you get the appropriate level of support that you need to live on. So you should get the appropriate funds to be able to pay for your accommodation, and all of your other general living costs. So you don't necessarily have to have the funds up front to come to university, so not having the money shouldn't be a barrier to to higher education.
Sure, and that's really important.
Yeah.
So with all of these financial considerations in mind, is it going to affect, coming to university, will it affect your ability to get a loan in the future, or maybe your ability to buy a house?
Yeah. I mean, obviously at the end of your studies, if you're taking out tuition fee loans and maintenance loans on an annual basis for 3 or 4 years, there is going to be a certain amount of money owing at the end of that process.
Sure.
The government don't see it as debt. Banks don't see it as debt. Credit companies, mortgage companies, it's not seen as debt. Yeah. It's an amount of money that's owed to the government that is paid back to the government based on what you earn in the future. Okay. So it's not seen, although it may be there may be a big number at the end of it. It's not seen as a debt. Some students won't pay anything back. Some will pay it all back. Most will pay some of their loan back based on repayment.
As far as the debt goes, it's a good kind of debt. It's,
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's not
if,
worry.
If you've got to have debt, have this debt.
Absolutely. Right, give me one final bit of advice for anybody thinking of applying to Derby.
Okay. The whole point with funding is applying early. If you're starting in September, so for example September 2021, the funding, the application process will open in February.
Yeah.
So you've got a good 6-7 months before you start to be able to apply. You don't need to know exactly what you're doing or where you're going to apply. Funding is the same nationally. So the key is apply on your best guess.
Yeah.
It will ask you for a university and a course, so if you're not quite sure, just pick one, because the tuition fee loan is the same, the funding is the same, so apply early.
Brilliant.
Is always the best advice.
Great advice, Rob. Linda, thank you very much. Support team here at the University of Derby. Good work.